Salute wrestling friends, welcome to the Mr. Goodbread wrestling channel, also known as the Figure 4 TV. Now today guys, we got Saraya, who's exiting AEW and she's going on her book tour because her book came out yesterday. So she's on a lot of podcasts and she's explaining exactly why she left AEW and exactly why she don't feel no way. And she don't want anybody to throw shade at AEW or WWE. Saraya just as humble and just as grateful as all ever. So check out the intro, and when we come back, we'll get into this, guys. Hey guys, so Saraya announces she is parting ways with AEW, and this is days after people were talking about her returning to WWE. Yesterday, a lot of people reported that Saraya, who's on Twitter, posted some lyrics from her WWE theme song, leaving some to speculate that she's planning on a return. Of course, returning to WWE would require her leaving AEW first. And now Saraya has confirmed that her time with the All Elite promotion has come to an end. This week, Saraya debuted her brand new podcast, Rule Breakers, and shared that her time with AEW has come to an end, adding that there's no bad blood between us.
Welcome to Rule Breakers. No fillers, no censors, no playing nice, just real conversations with people who've rewritten the rules or just said, fuck it, and made their own. So to kick this off, I figured we should start where all the good chaos begins. My own fucking origin story. From a tiny wrestling ring in Norwich, England, to shaking up WWE, to coming back stronger than ever, I've learned that breaking the rules isn't just about rebellion, it's about survival, reinvention, owning your story. And today, I've got two of my closest partners in crime with me, Raquel and Joey. We've been through it all. Late nights, bad decisions, big wins, and even bigger fuck-ups. And trust me, they've got some stories. So grab your tea or whatever the fuck you drink, and let's get into it.
Saraya and a magical time with AEW, but explained that her reason to leave stemmed from fearing that she's being around was not helping, was actually holding another woman down. She said, I got to thinking, what is there left for me to do in wrestling right now? Right now, there's really no storylines where I would fit in. Just me thinking that I don't fit in right now. I feel like I might be taking someone else's spot, someone who could be doing something really special, she added. Her exit doesn't mean she'll never come back to AEW. But for now, she's taking a little step back from wrestling to focus on herself and put her energy into podcasts. Wrapped up by thanking AEW fans and the awesome Tony Khan, and encouraged the women of AEW to keep in touch with her. Saraya addressed things further on the Busted Open radio station, as she said she decided in September 2024 that she was not going to resign and never really intended to be a top name in the company. Instead, she reiterated that she wanted to help build up other women though she wished that she could have done one more match with Mercedes Moné, but Mercedes Moné's storylines got in the way. Saraya's final match for AEW came on October 8th, 2024 episode of Dynamite, where she was on the losing end of a fatal four-way won by Willow Nightingale. Well, Saraya isn't planning on making any moves in wrestling at the time. She will return to the industry eventually, and it remains to be seen where she'll go. Now, before we get into why she left AEW, let's go into why she signed to AEW, because if you know why she signed to AEW, then you will know why it's just easy for her to part ways with AEW and not really care. Also, you'll understand what she mean when she said she never intended to be the top star in AEW. So let's go to that, guys.
Was also therapeutic.
Yeah.
But it also speaks so much to you and Zach's relationship, which has always been really, really prevalent in your career. You know, obviously WWE turned him away. We finally got him on AEW, and he got to do Wembley. And just, the two of you, your relationship has always been so remarkable to watch throughout the ages.
Yeah, we grew up like twins. Everyone used to think we were twins until he like got really tall. And everyone always thinks I'm the older one, by the way. Okay. He's older, 14 months. Let's not forget about that. But no, we grew up together, but we really grew up together. We're like we lived in each other's pockets. Like we went through everything together, from like, childhood trauma up until and business side of things too. Like even now he's doing a food truck, and I'm really proud of him. He does jacket potatoes, and he called it Zacket potatoes. And I helped him buy the food truck and get him started, and he's just killing it. And I'm so proud of him. So I'm like his business partner in that. Like it's something outside of wrestling. But yeah, it's great. I'm so proud of him. I cried when he did his debut for AEW. He came backstage. Everyone come around him, because everyone's just want him to succeed. He's like the ultimate underdog.
It's been such a saga.
Yeah, for real. And so everyone was just so pleased for him, and it just was really nice to see. I kind of took a step back and let him take that moment in, and then I come up to him, I was just crying. I was like, I'm so proud of you, And that was one of the big catalysts of why I actually went to AEW, because both the companies at the time, I had an option right here. And one of the biggest things that made me go to AEW was the fact that Tony was so welcoming of my brother, and he wanted my brother to be there, so he signed him. And that is the selling point for me. I was like, wow, my brother's gonna get a chance. I've done what I've needed to do in wrestling. I'm sure I have something left in the tank, but I am coming to the end of it. And I just want Zach to have his moment. So that was a big thing. I was like, okay, if you sign my brother, I'll be there. Yeah.
See, a lot of the IWC smart marks that be chilling for AEW, they get mad when I be explaining to them how Tony Khan just be purchasing these characters with no storyline, no future vision or nothing. They just one of his toys, and he play with them, and then when he get tired of them, he throw them over there in the box, because he never purchased them with any intent. You got to purchase these characters with the intent to use them. So you mean to tell me you got Saraya over there because you signed her brother, not necessarily because you had a storyline for her, or you had plans on putting her in there with somebody or elevating somebody. No, you wanted to take her from WWE that bad that all you did was sign her brother. And Zach trash. Zach trash. Yes, he is trash. But you see right there, guys, this is why Saraya don't care. She ain't mad at Tony. Tony did her a favor. Tony over there doing all of these people a favor, giving them a check, just giving them free money.
The news just broke that you tweeted out that you're departing with AEW. Why now? What made you just make the decision that this was the time for you to depart from AEW?
When I came into AEW, the thing that I wanted to do was just to help build stuff. I didn't want to be the top dog or the face or anything. That's not what I wanted. What I wanted to do was just put girls over if that helped them in any way. That's all I wanted to do.
Paige, that's a lie, Paige. You wanted to get your brother over. You would have went to WWE. If WWE would have signed your brother, you would have never left WWE. You went to AEW because they signed your brother.
And I feel like I was coming to the end of that. There was really not much left I could do. I don't think there was a place for me anymore in there. I mean, there was probably one more thing with Mercedes I could have done, and she was completely up for it, but the only difference is that, she already has these storylines planned, and my contract was coming to an end, and I wasn't going to re-sign after September. I was not going to do it. I wanted to take a step outside of wrestling for a little bit. I have a lot going on in 2025, and I was just like, well, now I have the book coming out, and I have this role that I'm really excited about, a big one, which I never thought I would get, is coming up. And then I have Rule Breakers podcast that's coming out tomorrow. It's just I have a lot going on, and I wanted to get my feet wet outside of wrestling for a little bit. And Tony was so amazing with it. It was mutual. He was really great. He was so supportive of it. He's been so supportive since, I asked for time off in November. I've been gone for a minute. And I was just like, well, there's really no place for me anymore. So yeah, we came to that decision, and I'm happy about it. And he wished me luck on everything, and the door is always open. But yeah, it's nice to it's scary, but I'm exploring everything outside of wrestling right now.
Yeah, I was there in Queens when you debuted in AEW, and it was such a great moment. I was with Mark Henry, and it was awesome to see you. So
Thank you.
when I think of Saraya, I'm like, it's fucking Saraya. Like this is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like I got to be honest with you. I didn't think they did enough with you. Do
Mhm.
you feel like were you happy with the run that you had in AEW?
Um, uh, you know what? I'm really happy that I got the stories that I got just because I got to hang with really wonderful women and I got to help Tony in a way right at the beginning, and I got to hang with Ruby, and like I got to be with Harley, and I think she's such a big superstar. So like even if not everyone was happy with the way, the storylines were or I was portrayed or whatever, I had a great time. I had a great time behind the scenes. I was having fun. And, again, this isn't the end of my wrestling career or anything like that, but like maybe I'll do something later on down the line that everyone will be proud of and want to love. But like, I just want people to know I had a good time at least. Like, if you didn't like what I was doing, that's perfectly fine. Absolutely. Like, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. And even sometimes maybe I was like, oh, I wish we could be doing XYZ, but I was having a great time behind the scenes.
I mean, you won the championship in front of
Yeah.
80,000 fans in Wembley. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, I did. I did, however, when it came to that, I was like, what I wish would happen is, I would have dropped it to Tony in California, which is like something I really wanted to do. I just felt like I was a huge heel and she was a growing baby face. Like actually she was, even though she was growing, she was like the biggest baby face in the company because people love her. Even now, she's a superstar, right? But I was like, oh, the only thing I wish was a little different was that one thing where I was like, okay, I want to drop it and I want to drop it to Tony. But either way, I'm glad it got to her and yeah, I'm not complaining.
You were from both worlds. I feel AEW like gets a bad rap behind the scenes because
Yeah.
I've been there, and like you said, you were happy.
Hmm.
And online they talk like, oh, it's this and this, but you were there for both companies, and tribalism, all that stuff, where you've also, you've gone on social media, said, hey guys, I messed up on this, whatever, blah 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 blah. But for being in it, your overall thoughts, like
Yeah.
from two different worlds.
Yeah, I love both. And yeah, AEW did get a bad rep, and I heard about it before I even got there. But when I was there, everyone was so welcoming. Like, Tommy, you've been there, like you said, everyone's so sweet. Everyone, like is enjoying their time back there. Like I loved the locker room. I loved both locker rooms, but like I didn't know what to expect coming into AEWs, and they were just so sweet. We text each other, we hang out outside the company, like I love it. Again, tribalism I don't like. I think it's ridiculous. Like you guys know behind the scenes, like all of us are like giving each other a pat on the back whenever we're doing something really special on shows. We're all very supportive of each other. We're happy that there's another company that someone can earn money. But it's just like then you see people online and it was hard. Coming into AEW was really hard. And I thought I made a mistake coming back to wrestling. I did that. I had a lot of time out because of my neck. I came back. The first week was amazing. I was like, holy crap, I'm on cloud nine, right? But then the next week I did a promo. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I don't know why I'm here yet. Like, I don't know where my direction is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. And I did a bad job. I really did. I was so nervous and I did a bad job. And after that, people I ate me alive. Like, his with the IWC, in my opinion, you're never allowed to make a mistake. You're never allowed. Like, they're so unforgiving, and it's just like I wish you could be a little easier on some of us, because everyone's trying their hardest to entertain. We're trying our hardest to like give you the best show possible, and not everything's gonna go perfectly. So yeah, after that week, I was like, oh my gosh, what's happened? I feel like I've been out the loop for so long. I didn't realize that they were this tribalistic and this crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like it was really intense, and I remember crying about it. I was just like, what have I done? But then I worked with Moxley and Renee and Tony was really great. So like, yeah, they were like, okay, let's go in this direction. Moxley was helping me with promos, and then when I had the promo with Britt and her like in the ring, I loved it, and I like felt like I was getting my stride again. Maybe not in the wrestling. It took me a minute to get my wrestling stride back. I'm going to be honest. I was like, oh my god, what's happened? But I'm actually, sorry, I'm going all over the place right now. I'm actually going to go to Florida and go train with Natty for a little bit too. I'm really excited about
Nice.
I'll be there tonight. It's awesome. It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah,
And you get to be around TJ, who I think is one of the greatest minds in wrestling,
agreed.
period, because he can do every style and every, from New Japan to AEW to WWE, like he knows how to put matches together. He knows the philosophy on.
Mhm.
Did you find when you went to AEW, from being, I mean, granted, you came up in your own way over in Europe through the shows and with your dad and your family, and then coming to WWE, we understand what it is and how it works. Did you find that you had to like reinvent the way you wrestled when you went to AEW, because it is different, which is I think why the audience can be so hypercritical, because it's
Mhm.
different, and people, especially WWE fans, they don't want to be tricked as much as they say they do. They don't want to be
Yeah.
surprised as much as they do, and then they don't like things that are different. And so I think that's where that tribalism comes with AEW. It is different.
Yeah.
It is a different style, which people like different styles of music. That's what's great about the wrestling world, is you can get any flavor you want. Did you find going there you had to be like, okay, I have to rethink how I put matches together, how I move in the ring, or my speed or my pacing or my promo? Was it
Yeah.
a big change for you?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't want to look too much like Paige because she was such a big part of my career, and that's what made me. That's what made. And so I was trying really hard to kind of start from scratch again, and also just start from scratch in general. Because again, I was out for 5 years, and I was just like, holy crap, I forgot how to wrestle, like so I kind of had to start from scratch in that regard. And then everyone in AEW are great, right? They can do all these crazy things. I'm not that wrestler. I'm not. I'm more of like a grounded, I don't lift my feet off the ground too often, and if I can do as more story as possible in the match, I'm happy. So it was like I definitely have to try and adjust to that, which I loved. I really had a good time like learning from the girls and all that kind of stuff, because like coming in, like I have to learn, like you never stop learning in wrestling, and wrestling evolves and changes constantly. And it's like you have to try and keep up, and it's like it's quite difficult. So yeah, coming in, it was like I definitely tried to stay away from like the page persona, which I love being Saraya, but I definitely miss that page persona too. So yeah, it was different. It was definitely different, and I definitely had to change a few things, and it was tricky because I was also nervous as heck, of everything.
Your life. I mean, you're still a young.
Unfortunately, WWE is out with the old and they in with the new. So I don't even think there's a spot for Saraya if she was to come back. Besides, we got a couple of her dark characters. Rhea Ripley has stepped into that gothic role for WWE. So there's really no need for Paige. Plus, that checkered background of Paige is not sitting well. Remember, WWE is TKO now. So they ain't doing it. You see what Mandy Rose over there crying because they trying to write her out of history. And it's because of the checkered past, boy. Don't no company want to take on that liability. So I mean, I would love to see her come back, maybe in a one-off situation like a Royal Rumble or something, but full-time role in WWE, I don't think Paige Saraya has a chance. Y'all let me know. You sad to see Saraya leave AEW? Would you like to see Saraya return to WWE? Share your thoughts on her all elite exit down in the comments.